1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So guys, I'm showing you some old images of this Celine Dion thing that came out because she's back in the news with the LA Times doing a little thing on her. So she's back in the news, and I haven't seen her the same since she came out with this disgusting children's line, Celine Dion being a singer. She sang in that one song from that one movie that I never saw. Titanic. Yeah. And I don't know. And I don't know, I thought kind of well of her back then, I guess. But really gross stuff that she's involved in. Gender neutral children's clothing, and it is dark. And I'm not including any pictures of children because YouTube is overcautious about pedophiles, so-called. Even though these liberals are like basically leaning towards making that an okay thing too. But it's really disgusting. What they're doing to kids, and she's part of it. She's involved in it, and who is surprised, right? Because all these actors and singers and all these trash people are putting out crazy stuff. The only guy who seems to be putting out something I thought I saw something from Kanye West, who put out something at least calling out the grossness. In some lyrics to some song that was gabbed out by Andrew Torba. I was on Gab. Jesse is on Gab at Jesse Lee Peterson. But these people are really disgusting, and I just want to share a little bit about that with you. But I also want to talk about this Hong Kong protest and China and stuff. They're banning wearing masks, which is a good thing. And also in Joker movie theaters, I think movie theater chains are banning masks and costumes because they're scared of this Joker movie coming out and inspiring, or people using the scene of a Joker movie, having a Joker movie in a theater to shoot up a place. Because remember the Aurora mass shooter in Colorado? That guy showed up to the Batman screening, Batman something, the third installment of the Batman movies, with that Welsh guy pretending to be an American, pretending to be Bruce Wayne. He's a liberal. He doesn't like Trump. Christian, not Slater, Bale. Anyways, they are getting smart. And up where we had our straight pride rally, they banned masks by Antifa. That way Antifa couldn't hide their identity, and then they're less likely to get away with crimes, so they're less likely to commit crimes. Same sense with encouraging people to own guns. If everybody owns guns and carries guns, you're less likely to be shot because people are not going to show up to a ducks in a barrel situation, because there is no ducks in a barrel situation at a gun show or at other places where you're allowed to open carry. I don't know if you're allowed to open carry at a gun show. I guess you are. But anyways, I'm going to get to some calls. Appreciate you guys already calling in. And you can talk about this Amber Geiger thing, this situation with the black young guy saying, I saw in another clip that black guy, the brother of Botham Jean, the brother who forgave, or said he forgave, Amber Geiger, the female white cop who killed the black man in his apartment thinking it was her own. He said that, I wish that you would know Jesus or accept Jesus or believe in Jesus, something like that, because that's what Botham would want. Said something along those lines. That's nice. And I also want to talk about there's something else going on. Oh, Silicon Valley being meaning the tech industry up in Central Cal or NorCal, wherever it is, California. These people there's this guy who used to be a product director for Google, and he is an Elizabeth Warren fan. I don't picture a male being for Elizabeth Warren, because a male won't fall for the woman thing. And it's hard to even imagine women falling for her. She's so nasty. She's like Hillary 2.0, but then a lot of people liked Hillary for some reason. So, anyways, let me quickly cover this thing with Celine Dion. So, there's this LA Times is doing some article about Celine Dion. I haven't even looked at it, because when I heard that name, I saw that name, right away my mind went to this, and you can show like this headline from Vigilant Citizen. Something is terribly wrong with Celine Dion's genderless, quote unquote, clothing line. Genderless. And, the fashion industry is disgusting. So she was the commercial face of this satanic so-called gender-neutral children's clothing line called Nu, N-U-N-U, something like that. Or Celine Nu. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, but you'll see if you Google it, or, I don't know, for some reason I have them saved to my Pinterest. All of these actors and celebrities dressing their children up in this stuff. So, go back to the, one by one. So she's in this promo video for it. I'm not going to show the video. You see her in a car. She's dressed in this silvery dress. It looks all crazy and weird, and there's dry ice. So there's like smoke, or a smoke machine. And it says, the Celine Nu promo video showcases Celine Dion sneaking into a maternity ward. That's creepy, and altering the look of the people's children. While most news sources found the video hilarious, it wasn't meant to be hilarious. Yeah, she looks like the witch from the Snow White and the Huntsman. I haven't watched that movie, but I think it is reminiscent of the billboard that I do remember seeing. While most news sources found the video hilarious or inspiring or something, many were also disturbed by the video's strange messages. And there's Celine she got off of an SUV and entered some hospital type thing. Big glass entrance, and her outfit magically turns to black. Something dark is about to go down. So then she enters this maternity ward, where you see blue for the boys and pink for the girls, and they have it all lined up one side and the other, and a whole bunch of babies are supposed to be in those banisters, whatever they're called. And so the boys are in the blue, the girls in pink. The horror. Celine is completely disgusted, and so she looks like a Catwoman type thing. And then she suddenly changes it to be all just black and white and gray. Black and white. And then you see a little black ghost on the side of one of the banister of the... What is those things? What are those things called? I don't know. What are they called? I don't know. Yeah. So she spreads some black powder or something, and everything changes for the worst. The boy and the girl figures on the wall. Because, boys, the bathrooms are boy looks like a little man, stick figure, and then the girl, a stick figure wearing a dress, that type of outline thing. Those changed into just plus signs. The brand's, which happens to be this brand's logo. It's just a little cross, a little plus sign thing, and kind of reminiscent of the medical cross thing. So, and then on this article, I'll have the link. You can see what they dress up the children as, and it's just disgusting. A little girl has the word "ho" with exclamation mark written on the chest of her shirt, and it's supposed to be genderless, right? But she's wearing the thing called ho, and she looks like it looks almost like the Santa Claus ho ho ho, but it's really disgusting. This came out last November of 2018. Some of you may already have been familiar with it. It's really disgusting. And then there was another one where like a little girl is wearing like I don't know, like a bathing suit or a dance leotard. I don't know what those things are. And there's like this hand on it, like a hand on the chest or something. It's really weird. Yeah, Joel's probably looking at it right now online. I'll link to it on my blog. You can go to thehakereport.com/blog, and then it will be in my, after the show, like a couple hours after the show, it'll be up. I'll share it on Twitter, I guess. Follow me on Twitter at the Hake Report. You have yeah, isn't that terrible? I didn't want to show any pictures of kids, but yeah, you have a baby wearing like a devil horns, a little beanie with devil horns coming out, or cow horns, whatever. And then like stars on the onesie that the baby's wearing. It's terrible. Nasty. Evil people. And you have, I just looked it up because there are a bunch of celebrities, actresses. I think the actress Jennifer Lawrence, Ashton Kutcher. I don't really want to show them because it's showing kids, and nowadays, like, if any video has kids in it, they all of a sudden strike away. You can't even leave comments under the you can't leave comments under that particular video, and I don't know, it gets more, like, even more shadow banned. It's crazy. You have Elton John with his whatever male homosexual partner and a couple of kids wearing this stuff with like a skull and crossbones and that thing that Dan Crenshaw has, the eye patch. Gwen Stefani has Halle Berry, Jennifer Garner again, Jordan Brewster, whoever that is. Kourtney Kardashian has her boy dressed up in the pants. They look like pajama pants, and yet they're out. Orlando Bloom, Stephen Curry, supposed to be a Christian, right? Obama's little friend from, is it Stephen Curry? Steph Curry. I call him Stephen Curry. My dad's name is Stephen, S-T-E-P-H-E-N. So I see it, I think Stephen, but it's Steph Curry. And he's like the blue-eyed, light-skinned, mixed-race black guy who plays for some basketball team. And he has his little girl, I assume, dressed up in this new stuff. And some performer, it looks like Justin Bieber. And Zoe Saldana with her husband, I forget what her husband's name is, but her husband's two little boys are dressed up in this stuff. I think that they just think it's trendy, or maybe some of them are dark people themselves. I mean, most of them are, right? So, and also, I'm going to show you the actual video of that Chinaman getting shot, the 18-year-old who hit the cop, the Chinese cop, and that was in Hong Kong. It happened a few days ago. I reported about it. I showed you a screenshot about it. I finally got the video, and so I'll show you that, but I want to take some calls first because we got full lines and a lot to get through. So let's get to Sal out of Denver, Colorado. Sal, how are you?
All right, James. I was disgusted by this line of Celine Dion baby clothing when I heard about it originally on the Laura Ingraham show last
year. Yeah.
I looked at some of this stuff. It's just outright satanic.
Yep.
My God.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, God, I don't even believe this. And I looked at the one tutu-looking thing with the hand on it. They're trying to subversively make it seem okay.
Right.
People want to touch or hurt children.
Yep.
They're sneakily trying to bring that around so that people think it's all right. It's just horrible.
It's so interesting. Like they have
Dion's stopped having hits and her husband died. She went nuts.
Oh, yeah.
And they all tried to find a way to be relevant with the trendy folks. And this is a great way. I bet that she didn't even put all these clothing things together. They just attached her name to it when they found the most famous person that they could drag into this for a few bucks that was too stupid to know or care, and just took the money, and she did a great job of that, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I would be shocked to see a man fall for this stuff. But you see these male actors doing it, buying it.
They will. You'll see.
Yeah, that's true. Beta males. Yeah, man.
Beta.
And it's all being brought about by these evil women. You know, I was watching this protest on the Jesse Lee Peterson show just less than an hour ago, where these black women were talking about no justice, no peace. Mm-hmm. And back in the good old days, the women didn't have to worry their pretty little heads about politics. And their mental health was much better, I would say. And the health of the country, the spiritual health.
They were better, and now.
Yeah. And now they're like going nuts with Trump derangement syndrome. And then these female-minded males, like James Comey and all of them, that one guy, little Adam Schiff, they don't belong in office.
Yeah, he is a larval form of a fly, I got to tell you.
Yeah.
There's one thing I would like to bring up before you get to your other calls.
Okay.
In St. George, Utah, there is a men's cuddling group. I wanted to ask you to check into that and see what you think about it, because I read an article about it and I was disgusted. Like, what they do is they hold each other and they run their fingers through their hair and their beard for like 15 minutes. It's like, what the heck is this? I don't know. Is this your sneaky way of easing yourself into homosexuality? The only thing I could think of. How about you?
Yeah, I don't know. Are these Mormon men, or are they just guys who happen to be in St. George? I don't know, but
no, they're just. I don't know if they're. I don't think they're attached to a particular religion. They're just lonely guys that.
Are they whites?
Are so horny that they'll hug men to
That's terrible, man.
Satisfy themselves. So
that's awful to even repeat.
I was disgusted about that too. So I thought I'd say something. And men, if you're in a cuddling group, you really need help.
Yeah.
And cuddling other guys is not going to do it. And I'm not here to tell you what's right and wrong, but for this one, I'll go ahead and say that's wrong.
Yeah, I don't know if any of such males would be listening to the Jesse Lee Peterson show or the Hake Report, but if they happen across it, they will thank you.
You never know. Maybe they were too lazy to change the channel or something like that. We can help somebody.
Yeah.
Because they need help bad.
Yep. Appreciate that, Sal. Thank you for the tips,
sir.
too.
You have a good day.
You too. Let me quickly get to one more call. Craig out of Illinois. Craig, how are you?
Hey, Mr. Hake, how you doing, sir?
Doing fine. Nice to hear from you.
Hey, nice to hear from you too, sir. I just wanted to get your perspective about that, the Dallas officer. I felt really bad for her, and I was really glad that the young man behind the stand, did what he did, said what he said to her, and that came from the heart, and that just shows right there that he is a man of God, because everybody else and their mama talking about this, what he did, I wouldn't have did this, I wouldn't have did that. It's like, you know what, we're all different, but I wish that we would all be on the same page. Your way, this world would be a better place.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like, I don't know where these guys picked up their religion. Both of them is or was. It sounded like he was like a Christian guy into like gospel and stuff like that, and his brother definitely is, and his brother said that this is what both of them would want, that you would like believe in Jesus or something like that. He was addressing to Amber Geiger, the white female officer. Female officers are kind of a bad idea. I think that it's said, and Jesse says it, that we get what we deserve in life. And she was unconscious, at least, right? If she went into this guy's apartment, you don't be on autopilot. Be alert.
That's true. I mean, when you have a firearm, you got a lot of responsibilities.
True.
But you know what? We all make mistakes in life, and
Yeah.
you know, if people can open up their eyes, not all, but most people need to wake up and open up their eyes, especially black folks, because all of the things that they're seeing online, and they're not really seeing that they're coming together when you got all these innocent people getting shot in their homes, doing drive-bys. No one's coming up and
Right.
where's that evil radical organization, Black Lives Matter? They're not doing a damn thing about nothing.
That's
So
true.
what's the issue here?
They're used to it. They don't care, and they're used to crime in those cities, and they don't care about the crime in those cities, and they can't get the media don't care about the crime in those cities. Some of them do, but they have to start taking care of themselves and pay attention
right.
to
I agree with you.
truth tellers like Jesse that are telling them stop having sex out of wedlock, stop having kids out of wedlock, and forgive and all those things, and quit hating women, and men quit hating women, and it'll be much better. Their lives will improve, and then these things won't even be an issue.
People. I just wanted to let you know that I love Caucasian people.
How about whites?
I love life in general.
I said whites because you said Caucasian.
Oh yeah, I said Caucasian. Yeah,
I know.
I love white people. You guys are cool, man. You guys made this country, man. Thank you.
I appreciate that, man.
Thank you.
I wasn't the one that made it, but I'm grateful to those white and people that did it. Some of my ancestors were probably involved a little, and then some of my ancestors I know came from Scotland and Denmark more recently. And Scotland and Denmark are horrible places now. It seems like all the white countries have taken a dive, and it is the whites' fault for letting it happen. But Denmark had that female prime minister who balked at Trump buying Greenland. So Trump is all right, I don't need to meet with you right now. So I like how he handled her.
Yeah.
And then you go ahead.
Yeah, I pray that, God will continue on doing what he's doing to protect our president.
Yeah.
And for everybody on the JLP show at the Hake Report, man, I love you guys, man. If it wasn't for y'all, I would be lost. I'm not going to lie.
Wow.
Because without y'all show, I don't know where I would be right now. Seriously, because you guys don't realize you guys made a huge impact, and you guys are very inspiring. You guys are talking with the callers, even the producer, Nick. I ain't gonna leave him out. Joel, you guys don't realize that you guys touch a lot of people's hearts, and this is coming from a brother from Chicago. All right, you guys keep doing what you're doing. I love you guys, man.
All right, thank you, Craig. Appreciate that.
No problem.
All right, take care.
You too, brother.
Bye. I was just about to finish about Scotland. In Edinburgh, I think it's called Edinburgh, something like that. There's a university that I had a Breitbart headline about it maybe yesterday, and I don't know if I gave it to you, but it was a Breitbart headline that they're having like this overcoming whiteness, but it's not overcoming because that's a Jesse word. Something to do with whiteness. Yeah, resisting whiteness. White people banned from speaking at a resisting whiteness event at Edinburgh University. And that is in, what is that place? In Scotland. Shameful. Right? That's Scotland, right? That is so evil. I'm going to give you that headline, Joel. So, just so you guys have it. It's really disgusting. And so, shame on all the weak whites. We gotta strengthen up. Strengthen those feeble arms and weak knees. Make level paths for your feet, so that the lame may not be disabled, but rather healed. That's a Bible verse. Anyways, let me get to some calls again. Ryan, out of Concord, California. How are you?
How's it going, James? It's been a while.
Going well. Nice to hear from you.
Very nice. So I have a question about this whole Dothan case, and I was wondering if I could get your take on it.
Okay.
So I thought it was really interesting that, well, first of all, I definitely really appreciate the brother going up and doing what he did. That was very noble of him, and it took a lot of courage to do that, so hats off to him for that. That was amazing.
Yeah, especially with that mean mother.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, it's because he's young, and she seems more African, and he seems like more Americanized.
Yeah,
but
he does.
my question is why have I not heard or read anything on the reports? Because I went on the
Are you on speakerphone, Ryan?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Go for it.
Well, I was reading the New York Times, CNN, and then Fox and Breitbart and other cases, and none of them said that she entered his apartment and his apartment wasn't locked. And I'm just wondering, like, what your take on that is. Like,
I have not looked into the story whatsoever since I first heard about it. I mean, I may have read a little bit about it, but I do not know exactly what went down. I heard, I see you people's comments about he was eating ice cream, he was on his couch or something like that. But I don't know the details of what actually went down or what the story supposedly is. So maybe it was unlocked or something.
It's like, yeah, it was unlocked. I mean, like.
But it is, yeah, it's all a mystery what really happened. And that's why you have to presume innocence ahead of guilt, because it just doesn't seem like it was a calculated murder. It seems like it was an accident. But who knows what the truth is? Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting. Everywhere I read, no one talked about how she got in the first place. I didn't read that anywhere. All the news stories are like leaving that detail out.
Yeah, that is odd. You're right. I appreciate that, Ryan. Investigative journalists are, it's hard to find good, honest ones. There's people that call themselves investigative journalists, but they only investigate the stuff that they're into. And they don't necessarily want to get at the truth. They have a hidden motive, or not so hidden motive. Yeah. So it's hard to know. It's hard to get the truth. Appreciate it, Ryan.
All right. Shout out to Alpha Male Joel.
Nice. Hey, Ryan. All right. Take care, man.
Guys.
Let me quickly, before I get to more calls, appreciate you guys. Real quick. Talk about this Planned Parenthood abortion mill that's coming up in Illinois, Southern Illinois, not far from, I think, St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis is kind of eastern Missouri, right? Am I wrong? I don't know. I don't know geography. I didn't pay attention because I figured that it could change. We could go to another planet, or the world could move around. So it didn't make sense to learn that stuff. I liked, math was kind of logical. This is always going to be how it works. But with geography, I was like, what if it changes? So I didn't pay attention. What a dummy. I was a kid. But still, to this day, it's bad. I learned stuff like when I learn about an incident happening, such as that stabbing attack. Somebody murdered 4 cops in Paris, France, just this morning or today. And that was on a little island on this little river that goes through France. And on this island is also the Notre Dame Cathedral, Notre Dame. Yeah, he sounded like he was on speakerphone. Anyways. So this Planned Parenthood has been hiding themselves, but they're building this 18,000 square foot thing. 18,000 square feet I think that's huge. How big is a gym? How many square feet is a gym? I don't know, but that's big. The Bond building is 5,000, I think, or we need 5,000. The cabinetry shop that I used to work at was a 10,000 square foot building, and that was big. It was big. It was more space than we actually needed. And so this is huge. And they were hiding behind a shell company, using a shell company, meaning another company that didn't bear any name or indication about abortion or Planned Parenthood or anything like that, to build it for like a whole year. It was a former medical building. Now it's going to be a killing building, because that's what abortion is. That's what Planned Parenthood is about. And they were hiding because people protest. Businesses, small businesses, interestingly, like a cabinetry company, didn't even deliver cabinets, which you never deliver an order. I kind of think that's wrong. This communications company they refused to install telephone and data lines. It's wild. They're flooding, these companies flooded their social media accounts with fake negative reviews. It's crazy. So, according to somebody on Twitter, says, she wasn't innocent, though. She was found guilty. No, Nikki, you're wrong. Just because you're found guilty doesn't mean that you're actually guilty. She said that the door was unlocked after the fact. So, anyways, that's what she claims. And then she's like trashing me. She's mad. She normally likes me too. Anyways, you're wrong about that woman who found guilty. That doesn't mean anything. Lots of people are found guilty falsely. Most of them are blacks, incidentally. So would you want all these black people who are falsely found guilty to be declared guilty just because they were found guilty? No, you wouldn't want that. There's a whole lot of injustices going on with the justice system. There's a whole lot of like false convictions that go on. And some of it is like framing, some of it is whatever. So, anyways, about this Planned Parenthood thing. They are, I don't know, like they may be spending all this money for nothing, hopefully, because if the good guys win, we will not be having a functioning mega clinic in this southern Illinois. Yeah, so it's crazy, this Planned Parenthood building. And I have to wonder, were they planning this hoping that Hillary was going to win? It's been a few years, though. So, I don't know. They are fighting for abortion like mad. With this thing, with this new thing, Celine Dion's disgusting children's clothing line, they are spoiling and killing the innocence of kids and promoting this fake thing that, oh, you have to raise kids gender neutral because it's traumatizing to they only care about the girls. They only pretend like they're caring about the girls. It's traumatizing to the girls they pretend they care about the boys too sometimes. Right on, Nikki. She's saying, I still love you. They pretend like they care about the girls and the boys by saying, it's traumatizing to raise them as girls, or it's traumatizing to raise them as boys. Don't cry. And then you have these actors like boys and comedians too, liberals, saying boys are broken. And yes, it's true, boys are broken, but they're broken by scumbags like these liberals who pretend that they care about them by turning them into like little girls, sensitive and stuff like that. Rather than, because they're backlashing against maybe a false masculinity, but they're also, the greatest backlash is against the real masculinity. You'll notice. They will say, oh, toxic masculinity, and they'll cite things like rape and all that stuff, and people acting tough when they're actually not, and suppressing emotions when they really have the emotions that they haven't really overcome. Those are like true issues, right? But look at who they hate the most. President Trump, he's like real, genuine man. And like people like Jesse, they falsely claim, oh, Jesse and Trump, they falsely call them insecure, bully, all this stuff. So they do hate true masculinity. They don't just hate the fake imitation of masculinity. They think it's all fake they know that it's not, but they pretend like they think it's all fake. So they're attacking the kids from the younger and younger ages, and encouraging, pedophilia and stuff. Oh, it's okay as long as they're old enough to consent and stuff like that. And they're saying, oh, it's okay as long as you don't act on it, because they don't really believe that you can overcome your issues, which you can, and with God, right? And they're also preying on the children at older and older ages. I'm referring to babies, preborn babies, and even born babies they're trying to kill. The guy that dressed up in blackface and he got more controversy over blackface, the governor of Virginia or something like that, Ralph Northam, he got more controversy over blackface than killing an infant, than discussing killing an infant. They're so evil, like they're closing in on the children, and yet, even while they're trying to sexualize babies and turn them into little evil things, demons, they're also trying to delay the birth of people. They're promoting abortion, not just delay, but cancel a lot of births. They're promoting abortion like crazy. I've heard that the UN, the United Nations, wants to have like much fewer people. And I wouldn't be surprised, because they believe in this overpopulation myth where, overpopulation is causing this climate change and environmental destruction or whatever. And they're saying that, so they're anti-human, as Alex Jones says. And so they want women to go into like the medical field and to be professionals and go to school until they're old and can't have kids anymore, hardly. And they want the males to become really weak, soft people that are unattractive to the women, beta males. And so we're in a fix. But it's nice that a whole lot of people are waking up. That's cool. And actually changing. That's really nice. Let me get to Raphael, who's been in out of Los Angeles for a long time. Raphael, how are you?
Yep. What's up, bro?
Hey.
SGV, brother.
SGV, San Gabriel Valley. That's where I grew up. That's where I was born.
Dude, you know all the white boys from here are crazy as hell.
Yeah. They're either crazy or Mormon, which I don't know if there's much difference.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Please, don't get me started on the Mormons, man. I mean, we could what we need to do is adopt their structure and just take away all the buffoonery.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because basically they have a great structure. They have a good moral compass, but they have a person guiding them the wrong way also.
Yeah. Yeah. The Mormons, they had their families together and stuff like that, make a lot of kids.
And
That's cool.
They separate the men from the women during church, and after church, they separate the men and the women.
Yeah.
And they separate the children from the young children and all that stuff, and then they focus on instilling what they should be doing is instilling good values and the proper mindset and truth, but that's another story.
Yeah. They just fall for the rhinos on a political level or on the level that we see out in the world. They fall for rhinos like Mitt Romney and all those people. There's a Democrat, I think, who went from Jewish to Mormon, I think. I heard. It was like a prominent Democrat. Anyways.
And it's like you think that, because I come from, all about like St. Luke's, and then because, you're in that area. So I was all involved in that. I did youth ministry. I did a bunch of stuff, and I wasn't really called to it more than I was like gravitated to it through, like funneled to it in a way. Let's just put it that way. And I came to it, ended up meeting a lot of people, a lot of good things happened there, and a lot of trials that I went through there, like women, because you know how the white girls are over there at Temple City. And
yeah, they're getting more and more corrupt.
Yeah. So that's back then. I mean, I'm about almost your age, or we're probably the same age.
Yeah.
So basically, I I'm 34 today.
Okay.
Turned 34. So yeah, basically, we had good times there, man. But let me tell you, from back to when I was thinking like that to now, a lot of things have changed. I guess in what you're saying, things have gotten a lot more I just say we've stuck ourselves in a predicament because we kept allowing things to get, more passive aggressive rather than just stopping that shit. I mean, excuse my language, but stopping that and basically putting more focus on, putting things out and really getting the idea across to see where the truth is and everything. Everybody just thought it was easy to say, yeah, whatever, and walk away and keep doing that, and basically just being dismissive but passive aggressive.
Yeah,
and that's how the politicians are doing it now. It's like a bunch of high school kids. Like, I mean, seriously, like this is stuff we were dealing with in high school.
That's so true.
Like,
they are just permissive is, I think, the word for it. They're just allowing
Trump's
stuff to
ahead
happen.
of the game on them, but he's also playing their game because he has to, because that's what the general public is focusing on, is like the game,
To a point.
He's ahead of them. And I've been telling everybody this from the beginning, before he was voted in, that he was going to get voted in. My whole family is, it's funny, like they're about 40% Republican.
Oh, wow.
And there's like a 20% unknown, and then there's a 40%,
liberals.
Democrat.
Wow, that's interesting, man.
Yeah, and I grew up being very in the middle, kind of that 20%. And then I figured out that, after a while of looking into politics and how things have been going and really reading into things, and first thing that
Stay close to your phone, Raphael. Stay close to your phone.
Alrighty.
So you woke up from starting to look into things.
Yeah, so...
right on, man.
I started looking into things. I started to become, when I was in that 20%, I was very didn't think, I thought basically left or right, it's still the same thing. Like, I didn't really find a difference in both sides because everybody was so on both sides of every issue. And during that time, and we're talking about the early 2000, like 2000, because I couldn't vote until 2004.
Yeah.
So basically I was looking at it like, I'm not right, I'm not left. You remember the whole Rage Against the Machine era, how I was a musician. I was very I kind of had to play that game too of I was kind of having to be into what everybody else was having to be into. Otherwise, I wasn't going to get a deal on records. I wasn't going to be able to do those.
So what was one example of one thing that made you stop and realize that the people on the right were more right?
Well, it would have to be just from looking at it from the past when I was in that 20%, feeling that same feeling that I'm sure people are feeling now because they're probably in that same point of their life towards the left, where you kind of want to be like, well, they might have a point. But then when you really start to look in the pattern of everything from the past till now, and you start to even look even further than that, you see how the left has always been trying to manipulate the masses into doing a bunch of dirty work for them, and paying them, really underpaying them, actually. They should be getting paid way more than they're paying them because they're not getting paid enough to do the crap.
Right on, man.
They're pretty much forced to do, because once they get there, it's pretty much coercion at that point.
Raphael, let's have a song for Raphael. Happy birthday to you. Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Raphael, that's cool, man. I'm glad that you were, I'm glad you found us.
Say shout out to the new team member on your thing, Joel.
Jorel.
Shout out to the new team member. And what's up, Jesse? You're the best, man. You're awesome.
Nice.
You're great.
Are you coming? You're in LA. Are you coming to the men's forum tonight?
Is that tonight?
Yeah, tonight, 7 p.m. at Bond here in Los Angeles, 6146 West Pico Boulevard. Basically, Pico and La Cienega.
All right. Well, I'm going to put that into my maps, and I will put that to tonight, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
I will be I do have school today.
If you can, do. If not, church on Sunday, man.
Alrighty.
All right, take care, Raphael. Nice to hear from you, man.
Nice hearing from you, too.
All right.
Take care.
Bye. Let me quickly, before I get to the rest of you guys, hang on. Let me quickly cover this beta male who's for Pocahontas. Drudge reports that Silicon Valley billionaires have a strange new respect for Elizabeth Warren, and that's really according to the far-left outlet Vox. The candidate who wants to break up Zuckerberg's family is Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, Democrat, nasty woman, hates independent people, businesses, just looks down on men and real men, especially Trump, and good people. Democrat, nasty, filthy, pro-woman, feminist, radical, but that's not actually pro-woman. That's actually anti-woman, but it's pretending to be pro-woman, right? So she's now like the front runner, even among like tech giants people. Seems like amongst the Silicon Valley's elite circles, according to this Vox report. Hunter Walk is one guy, and just listen to this quote. He's a former product director at Google. Now he's a venture capitalist, and he calls it his evolution. So it's a shame that these guys, you know, probably millennial, who knows, so smart, talented, businessman, driven, successful maybe, but like Jesse says, the other half is missing. He says, quote, to find her right on everything else. What is she right about? Abortion? No. Redistribution of wealth? No. But disqualifying it when it's about my industry because she wants to break up the tech giants? Maybe that's a little too precious. But he's a venture capitalist. He's not even he doesn't even have a stake in Google anymore. Who knows, right? So, or Facebook. Facebook is really the one that she wants to break up. So he's all, I'm willing to say, yes, change all the other things, uproot all these other assumptions, but then, oh my goodness, when she said something about tech that's disqualifying, come on. So, like, he's rationalizing his falling for a woman, and not just a woman, like one of the worst women that you can think of to become a leader, a so-called leader. And she is such a college professor woman. She would be cool as a college professor because you know that all college professors basically, not all, but all college professors are a bunch of just Marxists, right? I interviewed one, and Jesse did too, that guy he was from Rutgers for a while, but now he's somewhere else. The Marxist commie. She's the same thing, she just doesn't claim the name. She is every bit as socialist as Bernie Sanders. Probably worse, because Bernie is a little bit more old-fashioned, I guess, maybe. I don't know. But she is, and hates men, even worse than Bernie hates men. And so, no, not a good idea, not a good look, not good whatsoever, Hunter Walk. So, you can be a good product director and a good venture capitalist, but falling for this stuff, it indicates there's an issue. And interestingly, like, liberals tend to be really miserable. Although it's funny because the people on the coasts seem to be supposedly happier, but yet they're liberals, so maybe the happiness is not real. Anyways, let me quickly get to some more calls. Dominic out of Ottawa, I think it's pronounced, Ontario, Canada. How are you?
Hey, James, how you doing?
Doing fine. Nice to hear from you.
Right on. I'm glad I got through. I've been trying for a long time, and it's always busy. So I had lunch break from my business, so I said, "Oh, give it a shot."
Right on. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So I'm calling from Ottawa, and I think you're right about the sexualization of kids.
Yeah.
At my kids' school, it's an elementary school. 3 kids there, out of control. I actually made a complaint last year and this year to the principal about the after-school program. Unbelievable what the caregivers there, the women in charge, make the kids watch. Like they put up these videos on whiteboards. Like they have these interactive whiteboards where they can project. I don't know if you have that in California, but anyway, here we have that in our schools where, they don't use traditional blackboards and with the chalk anymore. It's all projected like on these big screens anyway. And they play these videos that are very sexual. And my eldest daughter started copying some of the dance moves.
Oh,
where she's
jeez.
basically acting like a, adult woman
Yeah.
in a nightclub. And I went to complain, and I was told, well, you know what, this is kind of like diversity. It's from a different culture, so we'll keep our eye on it. And I'm like, what? You got to be kidding me! Like this is a Catholic school, parenthesis, supposed to be.
Right.
And they just dismissed the parents' complaint because your daughter's starting to shake around like she's in a nightclub, which is ridiculous for a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
And completely dismissive. And it just, honestly, I don't know. What can we do about it? I try to fight it, and they don't listen to us. And I'm paying taxes to support this corrupt system. It makes me really mad, and sometimes you just don't know what to do about it. I don't know. And the second thing,
Take her out of that school.
You don't know how lucky you are. Just real quick, James.
Uh-huh.
You don't know how lucky you are to have a nationalist president.
Yeah.
We have a leader here who hates our country. He hates people that are born here. So I hope a lot of people wake up and that Trump is reelected in 2020 because, trust me, you don't want a soft person crying all the time who apologizes for everything and gives terrorists $11 million. I don't know if you heard about that, but Trudeau gave close to $11 million to Omar Khadr. He was a teenage so-called Canadian who fought with the Taliban along with his dad, who was a radical imam. And he threw a grenade and killed a U.S. Staff Sergeant medic in, 2002 or so, 2003. And went to Guantanamo, and a couple years ago repatriated here, and our leader gave him $11 million, tax-free. And now he lives in Calgary and has a job as a social worker to de-radicalize other young people.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
And
they always go with, like, the liberals. Like, they end up...
Well, James, this is the state of clown country up north.
Yeah.
This is a clown country. It's a joke. And what can we do? Like, I'm a, let's say, conservative up here, but even the conservatives, they're soft.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got an election in, this month. And I think the Liberals, Trudeau, probably get reelected. So,
are you voting for Maxime Bernier or whatever his name is?
I want to, but strategically in my writing, the Conservative has he'll lose. But I think strategically I have to vote for the Conservatives just so he has a shot because our guy is well known from a well-known business family. The People's Party of Canada, the PCC, he's not known in this writing, so I'll be voting for Eli Tannis in Ottawa South.
Okay.
And hopefully he has a run for it. But I don't know, James, we're stuck, man. Like this is just
Can you take your daughter out of that school?
I've got 3 daughters there.
Can you take them all out?
Go where? Public school I heard is worse.
Can you do
Public school I heard is worse.
Can you do homeschool?
I don't know. I mean, I have a business. I can't. My wife, she's got a job that she can't really, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not easy. The taxes up here, I don't know if you're familiar, but
no, I don't know.
Very, very high tax rates. Like it's kind of like Sweden, where we on our gas, gasoline, we pay right now it's about $1.15, $1.20 a liter. So that'd be like between $4 and $5 a gallon.
Well, if you can do it, if not, make sure that you and your wife are perfect. And Joelle's saying correct your daughter at home at least.
Oh, I do. I do. But it's just, when they're around it all day, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna, if you were imperfect at all, they're gonna turn on you pretty soon, if they haven't already,
Well, I try to lead them. I try to be a good father, okay? But, the school has...
But I would recommend
if
you can make the sacrifice, it's worth it. I'm just gonna say that. Because a lot of people are just not willing to make that sacrifice of the extra hardship that it is to do a homeschool thing or have your wife stay at home. But if you can, I recommend really considering it.
I agree. It's something that, anyway, we have a plan B down the road that we're looking into trying to get maybe U.S. citizenship down the road.
Yeah, but you can't keep running. I mean, you have to, be an example so that way, it kind of doesn't matter how corrupt the rest of the outer world is that they experience. But B, protect them from that type of evil, because permissiveness and weakness is so evil. It just allows evil to run rampant, and it's coming in nice clothes nowadays. Evil is, and then but it's so destructive, you know. So
well, just real quick there, James. Like,
yeah.
You know how bad it's gotten. She received, my eldest got a shirt like for her birthday, and like from a popular brand, won't name it, but it was so kind of low cut for, you know, like a tween, she's only 9. And when she wore it the last time, maybe this is extreme, but I literally, after she took it off, I cut it up and threw it in the garbage. I mean, this is just, no, that's not going to fly. Like, that's ridiculous. And it's a well-meaning relative who bought it, but that's just to say what's out there in our stores.
Yeah. And what the people what the people think is acceptable is becoming more and more and more corrupt. So
going downhill. It's too bad. It's a culture war, but we have to fight back. You know, don't be afraid to talk. I mean, try and fight back, because honestly, the future's at stake here. Like, it's serious. This is a war, like Jesse says, a war between good and evil, and it really is. Like, that's the battleground. It's not left versus right anymore.
Yeah, it's good versus evil. Thank you, Dominic. Appreciate it, man. Take care.
All right. Thanks, James.
All right. Let's go to Maze, real fast, out of Dayton, Ohio. How are you doing, Maze?
No, James, it's not between good and evil. It's to be, if you got a brain and you can use it, that's what it's between.
No.
For those that have no sense and those that do.
Do you believe?
So
hold on. Do you believe in good and evil?
No.
Really? Mm-hmm. And yet you believe in God?
Because when you get to people that think they're good, it's the opposite. They're bad, but they want to make you think that they're good.
I mean, that's how evil works. It tricks you into thinking that it's good.
If you're not showing nothing good about you, and in His law, you're not good, and you should your brain should have the power to know that. And I called about
I didn't say people were good, but anyways, go ahead. Oh, I said I didn't say people were good. I said it's a battle between good and evil.
Really?
Yes. Anyways.
Who's in the battle? Well, who was in the battle? Dogs, a cat?
Human beings are in the middle of it.
Thank you.
Yep. But I didn't say that. It doesn't mean that people are good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they're all evil. Do you agree that people are evil?
Yes, they're evil people. They think they're
No, I didn't say there are. I said people.
What?
I said people in general are evil.
Really? If you say so, all people are not evil.
Most 99.999.9.
They look at themselves as being good, but they're not showing anything good that they're doing.
Whatever, Maze.
About the young man and his mother that went and hugged the cop.
Yeah.
What should have been done if y'all say that she didn't do it on purpose? Well, she shouldn't have any precautions because she did. By law, she's a cop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
she's an off-duty cop.
Yep. And to kill them, you shouldn't have any. You're just supposed to do it and go on the beach.
No, I would say that's I guess manslaughter. Yeah, it would be manslaughter because it was not ill-intended, and you could have a wrongful death lawsuit. Like Jesse said, she's going to pay lots of money because that is a wrongful death.
Didn't get nothing
for
out
sure.
Of the young man hugging that woman. But what did you really see when you saw him hug that lady?
I saw an emotional moment, and
See, you missed the whole point. Brain power. He was doing God's law, and that's what he did when he forgave her for what she had done. Y'all didn't get it, didn't see it, it went over the top of your head, and that's when I say Caucasians forgive black people for what they never did to you, and you will live and be happy forever.
All right.
That's what I mean when I say
back at you on the part of the Caucasians that never did anything to you.
I'm not trying to pretend that I'm good, and they're not following nothing God has to say or do.
You follow God's law?
If it was you, James, if it was you, what would you have done to that woman? You wouldn't have forgave her?
You don't know me. I got to go, Mace. I got to go, Mace.
Dylan Roof going in the church and shooting up people, too.
Don't bring up Dylan Roof. I'll talk about him later. Bye. You have a good day.
Conscious, y'all will be better people.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too. KT, 30 seconds. Go. Out of Washington, D.C.
James, what a great follow-up. I just wanted to say I won't be surprised if that boy, he's not a little boy, he's a man, if he comes back and retracts his apology.
I hope not, man.
I hope not, but I mean, again, I won't be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, just seeing his mother, saying what she said on television.
I don't think he'll do that. I don't think he will. I don't think he'll retract his forgiveness. But
that's great.
Yeah.
That would be great. That would be great. But again, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Yeah. Appreciate it, KT. Take care, man.
All right, James. Great show. Keep up the great work.
All right. You as well. Yeah. kids, they're taught their parents' religion, and then they go out and then it becomes their own or not. So, all right. Take care, guys. Oh, by the way, real quick, men's forum tonight. First Thursday of the month, 7 p.m. at Bond. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/events. We're on Pico at just east of La Cienega, south side of the street. 7 p.m., guys. Parking is free at that hour. Meters free at after 6 p.m. So, do it. All right, guys. Take care.